Once upon a time, there was a sailor who had the compass to navigate the ship wherever he would like to. Once he saw a wrecked ship on the shore and decided to dismantle it so that he could use the scrap, because he was also a merchant. The sailor, who knew each part of the ship, he also knew the machines and all the mechanism put together to make that ship. So he knew everything about the ship. The sailor was smart and he wanted to venture into enterprise. So he saw the opportunity in the wrecked ship on the shore. He saw the ship on the shore and was very excited and wanted to go inside and have a look whether he could use the parts or put all the parts together to make a new one. Now, he took a bit of time to make all the calculations to be able to understand every bit part of making a ship. So he decided to ponder on it, to think over it, and be able to come to a decisive point. So he just allowed a bit of apprehension to sink in, whether it will be able to make a good ship, since it also caters to the needs and the demands from the market. If not being operational as a ship, could that be used as a ferry? So he thought on many options. He was a smarter businessman. He was a good sailor, also very enterprising. So he decided one day that he would stop sailing, because he saw something much more in himself than just being a sailor. So he went back home and said one day that I have decided that I will employ people to work for me. There would be someone else who would be sailing the ship. I shall be venturing into full-time enterprise. So this sailor now is a merchant. This merchant is inquisitive, curious, and smart. So here, the merchant wants to be the owner. He sees sailor as someone who has a specific job that he may have to carry it out for the rest of his life and never be able to exceed his limit as being a sailor. He would die as a sailor. But now he is thinking differently, that he could start an enterprise and have his own time, employ people to run the ship, to cruise the ship. So now he is happy. He's happy with his decision, and also at the same time able to envision the life where he would flourish the business in coming future and be able to gain recognition in the society, become very popular, and also start his own foundation after many, many years, where he would help people with business mindset through investment or encouraging people to take up enterprises. So this man who was a sailor now completely into an enterprise. But now there is a problem. The problem here is that he loses his temper. Being a sailor, he knew the navigation because this was exactly what he was trained to do. But the excitement at times, inquisitiveness, curiosity at times gets you knowledge and know-how. And the know-how is very important in life. But the know-how cannot be the complete course wherein people will be competent enough to make a successful venture. So here he faces challenges in dealing with number of people because he now keeps employing people. Now as he expands his business, people come in. And he has huge problem dealing with people. He would not be able to know the strength of the people. He would think that he is the best that he can be and try to indoctrinate his way of thought into everyone's mind, the employee that he would hire for carrying out specific jobs. So now even the assigned employees for a specific job would be influenced by his ways and by his thought process. So under this circumstance where everyone is so influenced by his specific way of thinking, the best would not come out. So he would always find people not so happy and everyone trying to please him. So he kind of curtailed his enterprise and thought through entire process, where he found that each and every one either is just confined to the job, did whatever he was asked to do without using much of his skills, and secondly, he saw people being very submissive. But he was very smart as well. Then after many months, when people started leaving him, because people cannot curb their talent. If one is really skilled, cannot curb his passion for law. It has to come out, it has to emerge out of him or her. It has to emerge as something much more potential and significant, productive, which would justify his learning and the time that he has put into carving out a niche of himself in that specific field. So people started leaving him. And those who did not leave became very submissive. And those who left, they became very dismissive of his way of dealing with people. So he decided to change himself. So one day he decided to go to a church to meet a priest. Now as he reaches the church, he saw an old man come out of a church and say, "My dear son, whatever disturbs you is not the life itself. It is the burning desire to prove yourself as someone or something. Because once you start anything afresh, you want to have a lot of vigor. You enter into it with a lot of passion and infuse a lot of passion into it. But unfortunately, things do not go according to the plan, and it shall not. If we could just make our way just the way we would like to, we would not learn anything. And even it happened by chance, we would think that there's no any other way than what we thought it was. And it was like that, and that's why it happened. So everything, if turned out to be exactly the way you had processed, if it turned out to be exactly in the same way you had thought, then there would be no possibility of any learning. There would not be any possibility of one being enriched with any kind of knowledge, because anyway you know it. So here we are trying to prove ourselves or somewhat something, a point, and that point is so useless. A point which does not require any skills. All it requires is for you to be able to be conducive to the environment where you are supposed to be, where you are in. Most of us, having learned a skill or having been into the best of the universities, are not as successful as a person having been put under a circumstance without having formal education. Why? So the sailor was smart and he knew that whatever he has learned about, whatever he could have through the process of his career, through the duration of his career, is not good enough. Is not good enough. There's something much more that we have to learn, we all of us. So even if we become very boastful of having been to best of the universities and having obtained degrees after degrees, and there's something that we do not know. There is a dark spot we all have to grapple with. But here in Varanasi, in these ghats, one thing that comes out quite prominently, that is that we need to just de-learn everything what we have learned in our lives. Let's do one thing, let's decide. Just de-learn. All the dispositions ingrained into us trying to prove something is fallacy. It's an absolute illusion. We have to let go of all that trying to prove kind of nature of ours. These are just trying to quench the thirst. The thirst is unquenchable. It cannot be satisfied. It is impossible. Once you come on these ghats, you will learn one thing, that in this lifetime you have to let go, you have to just de-learn many things. Just knowing things is not good enough. Just know how is not good enough. It is only by letting go of what you know of. It is only by letting go of what you know of. It is only by letting go of what you know of, things could change dramatically. So even if you're feeling stuck, doesn't matter where you are, which phase of life you are in, which corporate ladder you have already reached up to, or wants to keep laddering up further. No matter where you are, one thing is for sure, that being receptive, being in the flow, because nothing is consequential. People come, circumstances appear in order to make a very synchronistic pattern for you to learn and transform yourself. It happens at all times with all of us. Nothing can be coincidental in this life. Absolutely not. For a man who is so much sucked into materialistic pleasures and life would not know this, would not appreciate and know the synchronicities of this universe, which is always conversing with you, which is always conversing with us. But one thing that puts a block, kind of hindrance, one thing that creates the hindrance, and that is to prove something, to make yourself important, that I'm important, people should listen to me, or I am that person or this person, I have this knowledge, I cannot subdue what I know, I will just rattle off the words of wisdom that I know, or the knowledge that I have gained through my hard work, it is absolutely all right to have all that you have gained. But there's something much more important, and that is how to make yourself conducive enough to be able to enrich your knowledge under the circumstances and with the people you are at this point in time. If you know this thing, how intense you are, how intense is your awareness, how expanded is your awareness at this point in time will decide the future that there will be. If it is prosperous, if it is not so prosperous, whatever it is, if it is not that flourishing career or whatever it is, it all depends on how awakened we are to this present situation. And that comes with an attitude of gratitude. That comes with an awareness, an intense life experience that you are feeling at this point in time. How intense is your awareness right now? Ask yourself. So all prayers to the Almighty. My Master, Sadhguru Siddhartha Dev Ji Maharaj, taught me this most prolific teaching, and that is not to cling to any idea. Not to cling to any idea which has this base of knowledge, bookish knowledge, or any knowledge for that matter. Not to cling to anything. One could become an orator and kind of deliver discourses. That's a different thing. But that is not significant. That is absolutely inconsequential to the realm of possibility of human potential once we reach and align our energy to the higher vibration that permeates into this universe or beyond this universe. Once we go beyond this perception, the higher the perception, the higher attuned we are to this energy. If we can get this stream coming from the divine, which is available at all times, light will be absolutely blessed. Without having any knowledge, we can just give out discourses for hours and hours. So words will come out. So Sadhguru Siddhartha Dev Ji Maharaj, the actual master, the real master, who has this absolute uncanny character of settling the energies of all beings and transmute that into achieving the most subtle form of the energy which pervades into this thick air, in this air invisible to us. Once we know it, once we imbibe that, life is a flow. Everything will happen because you are being processed divinely. You are being processed by a realm of divine light. And that will be so fulfilling. So from this journey, from filling to fulfilling, filling your ego, oh, I know the best. Oh, I can, you are wrong, I'm right. Oh, what a pleasure I draw out of making you small, makes myself greater. Oh my God, oh, what an amazing guy I am. From that to the point where best of all the knowledge comes in, without having learnt it, without having ever been to school, without having been schooled by anyone or by an institution, by anyone in specific. You know all because you are in absolutely expanded awareness, and that comes with absolute gratitude. You are totally saturated in grace. Grace is all there is. You will feel grace at all times. Life experience will be so intense. Even a second will be as significant as an hour for a common man. It is as intense as anything you can think of. So as you see these ghats on the bank of Ganga, the Marika Ghat on the right is 24 hours lit. The fire is lit in this place where the fire would put on the blocks of woods, and they are lit, and anyway this body drops one day. So no big deal about it. How we have made this life an inspiration or a tragedy, it is only on us. How the life experiencer shapes you, how the life experiencer shape us, it depends on us. So the sounds of the temple as the puja is being performed, my salutations, and I offer salutation from all of you listening, all of you there. So once we know that relearning is much more important than learning, so keep refreshing yourself. Don't cling to anything. Don't adhere yourself to anything at all. Just keep refreshing yourself, letting go of all the learning, unless you reach the highest level, where you find that you are stable within, where you find that nothing rough, where you find that you are most attuned with your own self, which results in you being stable and at peace with yourself, no matter what it is. No desiring to prove yourself to be superior, no desiring for anything at all. Let it go to find a new horizon of your potential, a new horizon of your potential.